Hey guys, Prophet here. I'm going to run you guys through a quick tutorial on how to play Intent. Now for those of you that don't know, Intent is a deception-based board game where you have to use just that, deception, in order to outwit your opponents and figure out who each other are and either kill or help your friends and or enemies. A lot more to it than that, but we'll get into it. So, each player is given a roll card and a stats card to start the game. Your roll card tells you what your title is, as well as your alignment. In this case, the title is the Drug Lord, and the alignment is Evil, and this is Flower's card, right here. So, Flower's objective is to find the can of infinite pipeweed while avoiding the officer. I mean, who wouldn't want to find some infinite pipeweed, right? Prophet's job is to kill the Drug Lord. So, on Flower's turn, she's going to move. Her movement in this case is 20, so she'll be able to move 20 squares before having to end her turn. So she's going to move up into this chest, looking for that dank kush. So she's going to click and drag from the items deck and take a card. In this case, she finds a red document. Now, documents represent evidence, clues, and other passing information that characters find that reveals something about the opponent. In this case, Flower is going to declare she's going to use the red document on Prophet, which forces Prophet to reveal the red information on his card. In this case, he will tell Flower that he is the protector of the realm. This indicates to Flower that he's a good player, but it doesn't tell her much of after that. Flower is going to continue her turn by moving up through this door right here onto the outer ring of the map. She's going to come across another chest before ending her turn, and she's going to grab it. And in this case, she's going to find an evidence note. Evidence notes are a special kind of item. If you have 4 of them, it immediately reveals a player's identity and alignment. This is good if you can't find any other evidence or you're just having some difficult trouble figuring out who someone is. Now it's Prophet's turn. Prophet is going to bide his time looking around for some items. In this case, he's going to go down here and find this chest. He's going to click and draw for an item, and it's going to be nothing, because apparently it's bugging out. It's going to be a red document. So, Prophet's going to use that red document immediately on Flower. Bear in mind, documents can be used at any point during your turn, but you can only use 1 per turn. So, Flower's red information on her card is Evil, which pretty much tells Prophet all he needs to know. So Prophet is going to go off looking for a Flower. Now in this case, the map is lit up, but in actual game, Fog of War is enabled. So you can't see very much other than the torches, you can't see around the pillars and stuff like that. For instructional purposes, I turned it off so you guys know what you're doing. So in this case, Prophet is going to run into Flower. Now, because Prophet knows Flower is evil, he's going to try to attack her. So in this case, Prophet is simply going to declare he's attacking Flower. Now, combat can be a little complex at first, but if you figure it out, it's very, very easy to get into. Prophet is the attacking party, so he's going to roll a d20. What happens if you roll off? So Prophet's going to roll a d20, and he's going to add his strength characteristic, which in this case is 0. And Flower is going to roll a d20, and she's going to add her defense characteristic, or her toughness, which is 2. This is done by simply typing /roll space d20 plus any modifiers. So in her case, +2. And Flower is not going to roll higher, so she's going to lose this combat. In addition, she rolled a natural 1, so Prophet's going to parry this attack. After a person loses combat, they're immediately pushed backwards 1 square. Prophet is now going to deal damage. Regular damage is 1d4. So that's for fisticuffs, kicking someone, headbutting someone, or any other non-weapony attack. Now, because Flower rolled a natural 1, she's going to take an additional d4 damage for this round only. So in this case, 2d4 damage. So Flower takes 3. At this point, it's a good idea to talk about Constitution. Constitution represents your hit points in Intent. You can take as much damage as you want, but once you hit 12 damage, you are considered unconscious, and you cannot make any actions until you're stabilized. Once the damage you take is equal to double your Constitution, you're dead. Unconscious players are still considered in the game, and they're not considered dead, so the officer has to kill the drug lord, not knock her unconscious, in order to win. So in this case, it's going to be Flower's turn. And Flower does not want anything to do with this combat, so she's going to run for her life. Along the way, she's going to run into a chest, where she's going to pull out a pistol. Now, this is very good for a backstabbing moment. So Flower is going to sit here, right here, just out of fog of war of this area, and Prophet's going to start moving. Prophet's going to go to this chest, flip the card, and he's going to collect another evidence note, and he's going to notice Flower here, and he's going to jump down here in order to initiate combat with her. Now, pistols are allowed to be used at any point during your own turn, or during a combat, rather. So Prophet is going to roll a d20, he's going to roll a 10, and Flower is going to defend herself, and she's going to roll an 11, because her +2 modifier saves her. So, she's going to push Prophet back. Now, at this point, she can choose to use either a dagger or a pistol or another weapon. In this case, she's going to use the pistol. So she's going to deal her regular d4 damage, plus an additional d10 damage, which the pistol gives her. And in this case, she's going to whack Prophet for 6 damage. Now it's Flower's turn, and Flower has the upper hand. So she's going to move here, and I will explain why in a moment. Flower is going to fight this combat with Prophet, and in this case, I'm going to allow her to win. So, if she wins this combat, Prophet would be forced to move 1 square back. However, he cannot move into the pillar because that's impassable terrain. So, Prophet is considered trapped because he cannot move out of base contact with Flower. So he has to take an additional d4 damage during this combat. On top of that, Flower is going to use a dagger, which she has in her items. In here somewhere. There we go. She's going to declare she's using a dagger. This allows her to deal an additional d4 for a total of 3 d4 damage. And if she were to parry or Prophet was to roll a natural 1 in this combat, it would be 4 d4 damage, which is a potentially one-shotting situation. In this case, Prophet is going to take 4 damage. Prophet stays alive this fight, but you can easily see how that could have turned pretty brutal. Knowing how to fight and when to fight is very important in playing this game. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's a very good general idea as to how to play Intent. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to talk to me, and I'll see you guys out there.